Good morning, Stampers. Welcome. I'm Pat Fairless with Fairless Stamp and Flair, and welcome to Learning with Friends. And happy Halloween. It is Halloween. And I hope I have some candy left by the time the kids come around. I opened the box, and that's always a bad thing to do before they arrive because I'm tempted, but I'm going to do my best to make sure I have candy for the kids. So I'm doing a fun fold today. It is the last Thursday of the month, so I always do a fun fold on the last Thursday. And I have kind of a unique one today. I don't even really know what to call it, but the beauty of this fun fold is it lets you use some of that designer series paper that sometimes we just don't really know how to use. The kind that has both sides are just beautiful. You want to display them both, but if you start cutting it up, you're going to cover one side up. And the other thing is these pretty designer papers that have borders on them. So let me just flip my camera down and show you what I mean, and we will get started. So we all have these designer series types of designer series paper where they have these pretty borders, one on one side, one on the bottom, one on the top. And typically we will cut it down the middle and try to use pieces of this for a card. But sometimes it feels kind of a shame to cut this up because it's beautiful to see the whole thing. So that is one of the advantages of this particular fun fold design. Here's another one. This one actually has the border all the way around it. And when I look at that, I'm like, I don't really know how to use that for cards. You could just take a picture of it, of course, and have the bottom of it, but it doesn't really take full advantage of the paper, right? And the other side is also really pretty. So this is the card that I came up with, and this is not an original idea. I just modified it a little bit to address some of the things that I wasn't crazy about with the ones I saw, but normally these are just made purely with designer series paper, and there may be a piece put under here to add a little stiffening, but they're just designer paper, and we all know designer series paper is not as heavy as cardstock. So the whole card just feels a little flimsy. So I wanted to get some better support on it. So I decided I was going to try to recreate it with a cardstock backing and adjust the dimensions as well. So here you can see this is the what I'm calling the back side of the designer series paper. That's here on the front. And then this is the opposite side with this border. And when we fold this piece over to the front, now you have to, obviously this one doesn't work in this direction, but you can see you get a little sneak peek over here of what you're going to see on the inside. So this is the card we're going to make. And I made myself a little template first to get the dimensions and particularly the scoring correctly. Like I said, where I saw this before, this was just the complete card, and it usually ended up being a 4-inch card by a 5.5 inch, and we know our standard size A2 is 4 1/4 by 5.5. So I was able to adjust that as well. Now you could cut the designer paper 4 1/4 as opposed to 4. But then because it's 12 inches, you'd only get 2 cards out of it. Where I left it at 4 and put it on the 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch backing. So this is my little template that I'm going to use to follow. I just like to do this because then next time I want to make it, I don't have to figure it all out again. So I'd highly recommend you do this as well. And I have some new designer series paper that I got. It is from a new online exclusive stamp set that will be available next week for everyone to purchase. If you're a demonstrator, we get the fun of being able to order it early. And this is one of the pieces in here. Now, how would you ever want to cut this up? This is gorgeous, right? So I'm going to use this top section across here. So I just cut 4 inches off that top section. And this is the cardstock we're going to use. Okay. This new suite of products is called Utterly Amazing. Just let me show you what's in the suite quickly a minute. This is the stamp set and the dies that come with it. Several of these dies will cut out images in the paper. I'll just quickly show you these. So on this one, the dies will cut out some of these images. Not this one, obviously. And this one, this one here is cut out by a die. This one, there's this little tiny one has a die. And then the back sides of these are a little bit more generic, but they coordinate nicely with, so this kind of looks like water. And that's on the back of this one, Balmy Blue. This is what's on the back of the one we're going to use. So that will be the front of our card. Here's some fish. And we have some more fish swimming in the seaweed and some more pool party water. So that's the paper that comes with that suite. It also comes with this really pretty satin, very soft Lost Lagoon ribbon and some gorgeous pearls. These pearls are irregular in shape, so they work well for water scenes with the otters. And there's 3 different colors. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you how this, I'm only going to score this in 2 places. So I'll grab my scorer here, and I've got my little template laying right here in front of me, so I know where to score it. And the first score is going to be at 1.5. And remember, this is designer series paper, so we don't want to push too hard or we can cut it and tear it. And then the next score is at 6 3/4. So I had to open up my arm and bring it out here to 6 3/4. And that is all the cutting and scoring we have to make this unfold. Now this is going to get folded over, because this is the inside when we open it up. And then here we're going to fold this back, and we got a little sneak peek of this otter's tail. Now, like I said, to give this some good stability, I am going to adhere this to a 5.5 by 4 1/4 piece of Pearly Espresso paper. Get my snail out here. And we will just quickly put this on the cardstock to give ourselves some rigidity. It just makes the card not as flimsy. I mean, it's fine with just designer paper, but it does feel a little flimsy when you do that. So let me straighten this out just a tad here. Where's my line folder? There we go. Okay, now for even additional stability, if we take a 4-inch, this is 4-inch, the designer paper, 4-inch by 1 5/8. We folded this back 1.5. We'll have an 1/8 little border on here, and that will give us just a little bit additional stability. So see how easy this one fold is to make. It's 2 scores, and that's it. And I should lay this down differently because it's not coming out straight. You know how I am about straight. I like straight. So I'm just gonna lay it here to make sure I got a straight little border. And then we'll fold it back. And I wouldn't have to adhere it, but again, if you put some adhesive on here, it's going to make it just that much stiffer. All right, that is our fun fold. So we've got the pretty border pattern here and this on the front. Now we need to decorate it, right? And as you know, my videos are mainly about the technique. And so I don't always spend a lot of time trying to decorate the cards. So I did some of the work beforehand. I stamped the little otters and colored them with my Stampin' Blends. And then the dies from the stamp set, cut out these little stems in Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. And I'm just going to put this right on the front of my card with some dimensionals. So I've got that all done. I like to try to keep this video relatively short. You got the gist of making the fun fold. And I have one more I'm going to show you too, just to give you a couple ideas. The backs off from these. And I could put this over here so I see a little more of this, or I can center it. I'm not sure it really matters. I'm just going to offset it a little bit to the left. All right, and I did not use the pearls on here. I wanted it to look more like drops of water. So these are actually called, what are they called? Opal rounds. And there's some in there that are clear. They have different colors, but those were the clear ones. So I just wanted them to look like little bubbles of water. So I decided not to put a greeting on the front of the card, but we're going to design the inside with some greetings, because we can decorate this now however we want. I did think I would show you this. I played with this die. This is one of the dies from the set. See how it makes a slit? This is so that you can take an otter, you can take the stamp and die cut it, and you can actually have him peeking his head through. I'm like, what is this little swoosh thing for? I couldn't figure it out until I actually die cut it to see what it did. I thought it cut out the whole swoosh, but nope, it just cuts a couple slits here. Now you could cut it and make a swoosh, but I thought I'd show you that. This is such a cute set. So I have made a bunch of stuff ahead of time, some sentiments, some leaves, and we are just going to place some of these on here and see how we can decorate this. One of them says, "You are utterly amazing." So I'm going to stick him. I'm going to start this one right about there. And I've got one here that says, "Love you lots." So maybe we'll put that down here by this little guy. And maybe I'm going to go a little bit more over here. And I can stick some of these. I'm playing. I haven't got this quite figured out yet. So I have small stems in all the colors. The colors I've got are Lost Lagoon, Lemon Lime Twist, and Pretty Peacock. They're all from the paper, picked from the paper. That's kind of cute. Maybe we'll put that there. And what do I want over here? I got to make sure I'm not covering up the fold here. These aren't flexible. And I can move that over there just to catch it, just the edge of it. I don't want it to cross the fold. What do you think? I think that'll work. I think that'll work. Let's go ahead and attach these. I'm going to use some liquid adhesive, and I'm going to attach these to the back of my sentiment. Start out with the little green one in the middle, maybe. I'm going to get gluey fingers, aren't I? You all know how much I don't like gluey fingers. Not my thing. But sometimes you just have to sacrifice to make something cute. All right, that doesn't want to stick. I think I need some more glue. It wants to stick to my fingers, but not to the paper. Okay, hold that for just a second till it sticks. And I'm actually going to put this on with some dimensionals. Often don't put dimensionals on the inside of a card, but I think in this case it'll be fine because it is all designer paper with the exception of the backing. So, and now I can see better maybe where I want to put this. I think I'm going to put it right there. Okay, and let's glue these directly to the card. Now I'm just going to put adhesive on the bottom third or so. That way if I leave the top loose, it gives it a little bit more dimension. And here it went. Okay. And we'll do the same with this one. And let's go ahead and put our sentiment on with dimensionals. And I'm using the small ones today because that's what I have handy. Oh, I'm going to have to get out my hand sanitizer and get the glue off. So do I want that over top of those or do I want this over that? I think like this is good. All right, that is that. And let's go ahead and just add a few of these little clear bubbles. We'll call them bubbles. I'm going to put them down here in the water because they look like water bubbles. And we will just scatter a few. Don't want too many along here. Maybe one up by the waterfall. There we go. All right, that is our completed card. So let me wipe my mess out of the way. And those little dimensional backings do not like to get picked up, do they? They want to clean them. All right, that card, we are complete. You hold it up close. Can you see it? Aren't those little guys cute? I just thought they were so cute. I didn't want to cut it up. I wanted to try to use as much of it as possible. I already showed you the one made with the Sentimental Christmas Designer Series paper. This one, let me just point out, this die cut here was made with the Everyday Details die. And I just took some of this linen, garden green linen thread and wove it through the holes that that die makes. I thought I didn't want to cut up the paper or cover up much of it because the paper's the pretty part here. So I just thought that would dress up the sentiment a bit. And then I used sentiments from the same stamp set using those same dies, but here I did not weave the ribbon through. I thought that was enough work just for the front. And then the last card I want to show you is made with the Nests of Winter designer paper. And this particular pattern here is another one of those border ones that just seems like such a shame to cut it up. So I decided I was going to make one of these cards with that. And you can see it, the peak is here. This is the back of that is this little, just sort of all over pattern. And then you open it up and now you have all these beautiful birds on your card. And I did cut one out of one of the other pieces of designer paper and just popped it up and added a sentiment over here. So that is my 3 cards. I hope you like that. Let me put my camera back. Hi. Quick and easy, right? And I don't know what to call it, but it feels like it's just one of those cards that you really have to open it in order to appreciate it. From the front, when you first see it, it doesn't necessarily look like anything out of the ordinary other than some pretty designer series paper and maybe whatever focal point you created. But when you open it up, that's when the wow occurs. And it is a great way to use up some of those, what I will call difficult papers to cut up. So I hope you liked that. If you did, give me a thumbs up. That would be great. I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel. Thank you to all the new subscribers. And we like to learn together because learning with friends is just so much more fun than struggling and figuring it out all by yourself. So the card that sentimental Christmas card, sentimental wishes, I should tell you, I forgot this card here, will be posted tomorrow on my Fearless Stampin' Flair blog. So you can go there and you can download a tutorial. This video will also be there for reference, but it'll have all the dimensions and the scoring dimensions. If you weren't able to get them written down, that's fine. They'll be all there available for you. So fearlessstampinflair.com, just go there and you can get the tutorial. Have a great day, friends. We will see you next week with something else. And until then, God bless.